Aim to update the case details of our daughter, Cody Novak, and associated unfamiliar individuals, conflicting information from the incident reports, and to clarify the unfamiliar listed Silver Springs, Florida address located in Marion County. If you are looking for a rental, listen closely and be aware. Through our independent investigation of numerous public records, various incident reports, images, and neighborhood complaints, we discovered what may also be a drug nuisance squatter occupied in problematic residence to some of the unsuspecting community. Ignored, suspected inflicted attack, closed the case without processing any evidence from the crime scene or completing a full investigation, documented bias narrative and conflicting statements, documented contradictions, misrepresentations, misidentified records, incomplete images, and files. First individual listed is our daughter, Cody Novak, unsuspecting deceased. Cody was born and raised in Pennsylvania. She was new to the state of Florida. Cody was indicated as possibly lost, missing, or endangered by family members to law enforcement after observing uncharacteristic behaviors, missed appointments, not returning home, and GPS tracking. Cody primarily worked and divided her time as she continued to reside with family, partaking in our traditional family gatherings, managing household chores, swimming, and participating in community activities. Other than Lewis, she did not personally know the listed individuals in the 3 weeks, as named, their activities, or the property in general. At that time, Cody asked us to conduct a background check on a Charles Burns, only discovering a DUI. Cody met Charles, who was identified by a different name, and she also met Jade, as the supposed wife, who Cody believed was employed remotely due to COVID-19 restrictions. Cody frequently spent nights at the indicated property, specifically in the room mainly obtained for Lewis due to his altercations within our family home. The second individual listed is Louis Christopher Latore, the on and off boyfriend of Cody, originally from Cheshire, Connecticut, who followed her to Florida. Due to the incident, we learned in hindsight further details with additional questionable circumstances related to Cody, unexplained injuries, and incidents taking place within the house. Other documented history regarding his past relationships, records of domestic violence, larceny, drug and alcohol use, protection from abuse orders, and violations concerning Lewis and along with his mother in Connecticut. Cody's family had also filed 2 reports, the first in Pennsylvania in 2021 and the second in Florida in 2022. Each altercation involving Cody started as vulgar disruptions that escalated to physical, including one where Lewis was drunk and openly urinated on the mother while sitting on the couch. The second incident led to the family intervening when Lewis attacked Cody behind a closed door. We demanded that Lewis leave the home in each incident. Lewis went to Georgia following the second incident. In hindsight, and unbeknownst to us, we learned the story Lewis told about visiting Georgia was not completely true. However, we also learned he was also demanded to leave that residence. He returned to Florida, November 27, 2022. For nearly 2 weeks, Lewis stayed in the local hotels in the Ocala area, claiming to both Cody and the family he changed his behavior. Cody would split her time between home and with him. Around December 6, 2022, the Silver Springs address was advertised on Marketplace as a room rental listed under Charles Burns for $500 per month. Lewis mainly resided in a room on the property and would spend his time with Charles and Jade. The third individual mentioned in the incident report is Charles Raymond Helfenstein, who is now confirmed to be using the fictitious name Charles Burns. Confirmed identification by photos, background, and public records revealed a long, extensive public history of criminal activity dating back to 2009, including violence, larceny, protection orders and violations, drugs, drug trafficking, stolen property, etc., indicated not to be married or working, advertise room rentals with a monthly fee on the marketplace. The fourth individual mentioned in the incident report is Jade Crystal Benedict, as listed on the incident report. Public records didn't indicate her as being married or working. The identification presented at the scene was associated with a different address. Public records noted a previous court eviction. She has engaged in the theft of property. Jade also advertises the availability of room rentals with a monthly fee on the marketplace. The fifth individual is Donald Ray Burns. As listed on the incident report, the identification presented at the scene is linked to a different address. Extensive public criminal record activity, including drugs, violence, etc. Sixth individual is Richard Allen Sampson, as listed on the incident report. He, too, has a criminal history record. A few listed individuals stated they saw, heard, or knew nothing. However, unchecked by officials, other individuals did hear, know, and see a disturbance. As documented, the individuals not interrogated about pertinent details concerning their arrival, awareness of events, and the degree of their participation remained ambiguous. Around December 17th, Cody received a call from Lewis stating that the electricity was off at the residence. Cody initially assumed it was probably due to the storm, but was later told the electricity had been disconnected. We expressed our concerns to Cody regarding her advancing $250 of January's rent to the landlord to restore the power. However, Cody believed that their financial difficulties were related to Christmas. In the following days, Cody began to show reluctance about going to the residence. Without any thorough details, she mentioned it was not going to be a permanent situation. However, she also indicated that things had changed between her and Lewis. In hindsight, text messages revealed a couple of anomalous occurrences between them all. Cody did not want to stay there, Lewis's increasing aggression, and Lewis often hanging out with Charles. January 3, 2022, the day Cody was last seen by her family. She made multiple visits between the tax office and our residence to update her driver's license to Florida. Lewis accompanied her and was reluctant to leave her side. Cody stated that she was keeping the family home as her primary address and needed a few documents. On Cody's final appearance at the house, she seemed irritated, wanted to return Lewis to Silver Springs, and took her dinner to go. She said that she would return in the morning after gathering things and attending to appointments. Looking back, her demeanor was off. However, seen through text messages later, unbeknownst to any of us, Lewis had been drinking while in the car and thereafter at the Silver Spring residence. Lewis had been both verbal and physical throughout the days and hours before Cody's death. I now feel it explained her demeanor and comments of it not being permanent, not changing her address and grabbing her things. She may have been expressing that things were wrong. I didn't realize it. As also detailed in text message discussions, Lewis assaulted Cody while driving, pounding on the interior of the car, damaging the vehicle's dashboard display, throwing ash in her face, nearly causing an accident while she was driving, and later in the residence, smashing her laptop, flushed her earbuds, and threw items around. Continued text messages between Lewis and Cody verifying that Lewis again apologized for his behavior and actions. However, further messages and Cody's response indicated conflict persists. Cody's search history reveals a U-Haul rental and a dashboard repair for her vehicle. Until a sequence of events began around 7:30 p.m. and extended until 11:55 p.m. on Cody's phone, with irregular calls, unauthorized credit applications, numerous uncharacteristic use of social media, web, and email activities, including an alarm set for 11:55 p.m. with information particular to Lewis. Location and an individual's. Even having a two-step verification using a separate device, Lewis knew Cody's phone passcode. While untimely, as described in reports, during the mentioned period and continued to challenge, Cody was suspected dead prior, by descriptions of lividity and rigor mortis. Cody was not conversing or moving, unable to operate or conceal the phone inside the couch, to be recovered by the detective. Someone knew and did these things. As revealed, Lewis prompted emergency services from his phone 6 minutes after midnight. For further information, we listened to the background sound of the emergency calls and reviewed the body-worn cameras. Emergency responders arrived at 12:13 a.m. However, Cody's occurring official time of death recorded based on when EMS found her versus the actual event, day or time, Cody died. According to records of Marion County and various other sources, the property listed in the incident report is 2631 Southeast 179th Avenue, Silver Springs, Florida 34488. The 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-family home is in the estate of Charles E. Helfenstein, who died in 2021, and Mrs. Mary Catherine Dinnan, who died in 2018. The tax bill for the property is $3,642, with a delinquency year of 2022. Consequently, after several inquiries, no will has been uncovered. It remains ambiguous who remains legally legitimate to the property at this point. Public records indicate a long history of domestic violence and restraining orders involving the son and his parents until the time of the parents' passing. While public records list some of the individuals as incarcerated at times, there are also other individuals seen living both in the home and in vessels on the property, known to be partaking in similar behaviors, engaging in theft, being under the influence of drugs, drug activity, and causing additional problems in the neighborhood. The property often has junk, debris, and rubbish that cover the yard, attracting bears and wildlife to the debris and trash that is present. The community often submits complaints, requesting that the authorities intervene to resolve the disturbances and halt the ongoing issues at the residence. Nevertheless, the community continues to endure persistent individuals, criminal behavior, uncontrolled trash burning, drug-related activities, and various other problems at the site. A detailed analysis of criminal records should warrant attention to the concerns of individuals with a substantial history of offenses, especially regarding their frequent ability to have charges dismissed, secure plea agreements, and/or be released without encountering serious consequences that affect the unsuspecting community. Consequently, it is advisable to exercise caution when considering the rental of a property. Be diligent and perform comprehensive research.